The scene opens with Mark walking through the bustling hospital, his every step purposeful as he checks on the critical systems he's maintained for the past 15 years. The camera follows him through the hallways, capturing the hum of the machines and the buzz of staff moving quickly to attend to patients. Mark pauses at various points, inspecting monitors, verifying backup generators are fully operational, and double-checking the power grids. Each of these systems is vital to keeping the hospital functioning smoothly, and Mark is the one ensuring they're all working seamlessly. As Mark walks through the hospital, he interacts with staff members, offering advice and solving problems. With calm authority, the camera shows a nurse approaching him with a question about a system issue, and Mark quickly assesses the situation, offering a solution that puts her at ease. The respect from the staff is evident. He's not just an engineer. He's a leader in the facility, the one they turn to when things go wrong. His presence provides a sense of stability, and it's clear he is an indispensable part of the hospital's success. Throughout the hospital, the systems Mark manages are visible. An array of complex machinery, security alarms, backup power supplies, all critical to the smooth running of a healthcare institution. The camera highlights his attention to detail as he inspects each component with precision. Mark is dedicated to keeping everything in perfect working order, always prepared for any emergencies or outages that might arise as the day progresses. Mark's demeanor remains calm and confident. The camera pulls back to show him in the control room watching over the monitors, with a satisfied look on his face as he sees everything functioning as it should. The hospital and the people in it rely on him. But as Mark finishes his last check for the day and walks toward the exit, there's a subtle shift. He overhears a conversation between a few higher-ups in the hospital, a mention of upgrading the systems and cutting-edge technology. The shift in tone and direction makes Mark pause for a moment, and he begins to feel the first stirrings of doubt. Though he's been at the heart of the hospital's operations for 15 years, Mark feels a growing tension in the air. These whispers of new changes and upgrades, along with the vague language surrounding them, leave Mark with a sense of unease. He's always been proud of the work he's done, but now he begins to wonder if those changes might affect his role. The scene opens with Mark walking down the hospital corridors, his mind focused on the upcoming meeting. He's expecting a routine discussion with his boss about his team's progress. Perhaps some feedback on recent projects, but nothing out of the ordinary. As he reaches the boss's office, he knocks and enters, offering a polite greeting. But boss, seated behind a large desk, looks up from a stack of papers, his face unreadable. Mark's usual sense of confidence falters slightly as he notices the coldness in the air. The camera focuses on the boss's face, which is devoid of emotion as he speaks. "Hey Mark, I'm afraid we have to let you go," the boss says, his voice flat and direct. Mark freezes, the words not sinking in at first. What do you mean?" Mark asks, confusion creeping into his voice. The boss responds with a terse explanation. "We've decided that your resistance to change is hindering the hospital's progress. We're moving in a new direction, and we need someone who's more adaptable to these changes." Mark's face pales, the shock of hearing this news registering immediately. His years of dedication, the countless hours he spent ensuring the hospital's systems are top-notch, all seem to count for nothing now. The camera captures Mark's disbelief as the words echo in his mind. He'd always worked tirelessly to keep the hospital's systems running smoothly, constantly updating them, staying on top of new developments, and ensuring everything functioned without fail. The accusation of resisting change feels entirely out of place. How could something so vague and undefined be the reason for his firing? The camera zooms in on Mark's face as his mind races, trying to process what's happening. His years of service, his commitment, his knowledge, they all seem irrelevant now. The decision to let him go is delivered with little explanation, and Mark struggles to understand how the hospital, a place he's given so much to, could dismiss him so easily. The boss continues talking, but Mark isn't hearing it anymore. His thoughts are consumed with the feeling of betrayal. How can the hospital he's served for so long discard him for something as abstract as resisting change? Doesn't make sense. He's never opposed innovation. but his focus has always been on making sure that new systems align with the hospital's needs and capabilities. To him, change should always come with purpose, not just for the sake of change. The scene shifts to Mark sitting at his kitchen table, papers and documents scattered around him. The camera shows him flipping through his performance reviews, his fingers lingering over positive feedback from past years. He pauses on one particular document, then opens an email from his boss that contains vague language about cost-saving measures. Mark's expression tightens as he begins to sense something deeper. The camera focuses on the email thread. As Mark scrolls, revealing discussions between management about transitioning to new technologies and restructuring personnel. As Mark sifts through hospital memos and internal communications, the picture starts to become clearer. The camera zooms in on key phrases in the document's words like cutting overhead, reducing high salaries, and streamlining staff. Mark's brow furrows as he reads further. The realization hits him. The hospital is pushing forward with expensive new technology and systems, and his firing is part of a broader strategy to cut costs by replacing experienced, higher-paid employees with cheaper alternatives. The camera cuts to Mark's face, his frustration building as he continues to read. His years of dedication and expertise, the very qualities that made him an asset to the hospital, are now seen as liabilities because of his higher salary. The hospital's focus has shifted from valuing skilled, experienced professionals to prioritizing cheaper, less experienced personnel who can be paid less to implement the same systems. The betrayal is clear. The firing wasn't about Mark resisting change. It was about the hospital's desire to trim costs and replace him with someone who wouldn't demand as high a paycheck. Mark slams the papers down on the table in frustration, his fingers tightening around a piece of paper with a cost-cutting memo. The camera shows a close-up of his clenched fist, a symbol of how deeply the realization has affected him. All his years of services, late nights, the sacrifices, the countless hours spent maintaining critical systems seem to have counted for nothing in the face of the hospital's financial motivations. Mark feels like he's been taken advantage of, used for his expertise, and then discarded when he became too expensive. The camera opens with Mark sitting at his desk in his new office, calmly sipping his coffee while reviewing contracts. His phone rings. It's his boss's name flashing on the screen. Mark hesitates, then picks up, his expression unreadable. The camera focuses on his face, showing a calm yet resolute demeanor. He listens as his boss, sounding increasingly desperate. He starts apologizing profusely. "Mark, I realize I made a huge mistake," the boss says, his voice filled with regret. "We were under pressure, and I didn't think things through. We want you back. We've changed our direction, and I know you're key to moving things forward." Camera cuts to Mark's face, which remains stoic as he listens. His boss continues, offering reassurances. "We'll give you a more prominent role, a bigger position with more influence, and we're prepared to offer you a higher salary. I want you to come back. We need you." Mark's fingers gently tap the desk, but his expression remains unwavering. He listens to his boss's frantic pleas, but in his mind, the decision has already been made. The camera zooms in on Mark's face as he remains calm and composed, choosing his words carefully. "I appreciate the offer, but I've moved on," he says, his voice steady and firm. "This isn't about money, and it's not about position. It's about respect. I've been loyal to the hospital for years, and you've made it clear that I was replaceable the moment you decided to cut costs. No amount of money can fix that." The camera follows Mark's gaze as he looks away from the phone, a faint but determined smile crossing his face. His resolve is clear. The boss stumbles over his words, continuing to offer more incentives, but Mark remains unmoved. "Not coming back," he says, ending the call with calm finality. The camera lingers on his face for a moment, showing the quiet strength behind his decision. Mark puts the phone down, his expression reflecting a sense of peace. He's made his choice, and the boss's desperation only reinforces his belief that walking away was the right thing to do. The camera zooms out, showing Mark's new office. where the future feels open and full of potential. The scene opens with Mark attending an industry networking event in a well-lit, modern venue. The camera follows him as he moves through the room, exchanging business cards and engaging in conversations with former colleagues and new connections. He listens intently, offering thoughtful insights and advice, showcasing his extensive experience. The camera zooms in on his face, which reflects a quiet but growing confidence as he navigates these interactions. Mark is no longer bound by the hospital's limitations. He's now charting his own course. The next shot shows Mark in a coffee shop late at night, his laptop open in front of him. He's brainstorming and working through ideas, mapping out potential business opportunities, consulting roles, and new ventures. The camera captures him writing notes, his mind focused and determined. He reviews previous projects, making notes on how he can leverage his experience in a new, more fulfilling direction. There's a palpable sense of purpose as Mark, fueled by both determination and the lessons learned from his past, begins to carve out his own future. Later, the camera shows Mark on a video call with a former colleague. They're discussing potential collaborations on a new project that aligns with Mark's vision. His voice is calm but assertive, discussing the terms and possibilities with clarity and conviction. The camera pulls back to show Mark in his home office, surrounded by documents, industry reports, and project plans. His face reflects a quiet confidence, knowing that he's on the right path. The camera shifts to a meeting room, where Mark is meeting with a new business partner or client. He confidently presents his ideas, offering valuable insights into how he can help improve systems or solve problems. There's a noticeable shift in his demeanor. Mark is no longer just a cog in the machine. He's a leader, a consultant with his own expertise to offer. His presence commands respect, and with each successful interaction, his confidence grows. Mark takes a moment to reflect, looking out the window at the city skyline. His mind races with possibilities, but now there's no uncertainty. His future is in his hands, and he's ready to seize every opportunity. The camera lingers on his face, showing that the determination in his eyes comes from within. He knows that he has the skills, experience, and network to succeed, not just on his own terms, but on his own path. The scene opens with Mark in a bright, modern office, sitting across the table from a potential business partner. The camera zooms in on his hand as he confidently signs a new consulting contract. A sense of accomplishment fills the room as the deal is finalized. The handshake that follows is firm and respectful, symbolizing the start of a new chapter.
Mark's
expression is one of satisfaction. He has taken control of his future, and it's unfolding before him in real time. The camera transitions to Mark leading a meeting with a group of industry leaders and colleagues. He presents his ideas confidently, outlining strategies to improve systems, optimize processes, and introduce innovative solutions. The room listens, intently nodding in agreement as Mark speaks. His expertise is clearly respected and valued, and his words carry weight in the room. The camera highlights the way his peers engage with his ideas, showing that Mark has become a thought leader in his field, no longer confined by the limitations of his past. The next shot shows Mark working on a new project, his team collaborating closely with him. The camera shows his leadership in action, organizing plans, delegating tasks, and offering insights that drive the project forward. Mark's approach is decisive, and his team looks to him for guidance. There's a sense of fulfillment as he successfully leads this new venture, building something that aligns with his vision for the future. Later, Mark is seen at an industry event, speaking to a group of professionals about the work he's doing. His voice is confident and clear, and the camera shows the respect he's earning from others in the industry. Mark has found success on his own terms. The opportunities that come with his new role are more aligned with his goals and aspirations. No longer working within the confines of a hospital system that undervalued him, he's free to pursue his own vision. The camera closes on Mark standing in front of a large window, overlooking the city as the sun sets. His reflection in the glass symbolizes the transformation he's gone through. He's no longer just a cog in the machine. He's the one steering the ship, guiding projects and making decisions that shape the future. His path is clear. The future feels limitless. The scene opens with Mark sitting at his desk in his new office, bathed in soft, warm light. The camera focuses on his hands as he types the final email to his former boss. His expression is calm and composed, but there's a quiet firmness in his eyes. The camera shows his fingers tapping the keys, each word reflecting his decision to move on and close this chapter of his life, as Mark types. The camera zooms in on the screen, capturing the words slowly forming, "Dear boss's name, I want to thank you for the opportunities I had at hospital's name. The time I spent there and the work we accomplished together will always hold value for me. However, after much thought, I have decided to move on to new opportunities. I believe it is the right decision for my future, and I trust that the team will continue to thrive. Best regards." Mark finishes typing and sits back in his chair, looking at the screen for a moment. The camera lingers on his face as he reads the email one final time, his expression neutral but resolute. He clicks send without hesitation.
Ow.
His decision now official. The camera cuts to Mark's phone ringing moments. Later, his former boss's name lights up the screen. Mark looks at it for a moment, his face a mixture of reflection and closure. The phone rings a few more times, but Mark remains calm, not answering. The camera captures him setting the phone down on the desk, his hand lingering over it for just a moment, then withdrawing. There's no sign of bitterness, just peace. The camera zooms in on Mark as he takes a deep breath, settling into the chair. His posture is straight, and his expression is one of quiet confidence. He looks out of the window, watching the sun set over the city as he reflects on the journey he's made. The hospital and his former boss are now part of his past, and he's ready to fully embrace his future. The scene opens with Mark walking into a sleek, modern office building. The camera follows him as he enters a spacious meeting room, his footsteps echoing softly on the polished floor. His posture is confident, and there's a purposeful energy to his movements. As Mark greets new colleagues and clients, the camera captures his calm, composed demeanor. He's fully in control, his years of experience shining through in every interaction. The camera focuses on his face as he speaks, exuding quiet authority as he leads discussions with new clients. His voice is steady, filled with expertise, and his words reflect years of accumulated wisdom. As Mark continues to meet with new clients and partners, the camera captures the respect he commands in these meetings. His ideas are met with nods of approval, his solutions lauded for their thoughtfulness and practicality. Mark is seen confidently leading a team, delegating tasks, and offering guidance based on his wealth of experience. The camera highlights his leadership, decisive, patient, and inspiring, showing that Mark's expertise is not just valued, but essential to the success of these new ventures. The scene transitions to Mark standing at the front of a room during a team meeting, outlining a project plan. His team listens intently, taking notes and asking questions as Mark offers insightful answers. There's a visible shift in the dynamic. Mark is now at the helm, guiding others with the same skill and calm confidence he once brought to the hospital. The camera lingers on Mark's face as he looks around the room, absorbing the energy of the new beginning he's creating. So there's no looking back. He's entirely focused on the future. As Mark steps out of the meeting, he pauses for a moment to look out of the window, taking in the view of the city below. The camera captures his reflection in the glass, a man transformed. The sun shines brightly outside, symbolizing the bright future ahead. He smiles softly, knowing that the path ahead is filled with endless possibilities. Mark has reclaimed control of his career, and he's ready to embrace whatever challenges and opportunities come next. The scene opens with Mark standing on a balcony or by a window in his new office, gazing out over the city. The camera captures the sweeping view, the skyline, the lights, the quiet hum of the city below. Mark's expression is thoughtful, his face softening as he reflects on his journey. There's a moment of stillness, the camera focusing on his eyes as he takes in the scenery. His mind drifts back to the moment of the firing, the feelings of betrayal and confusion. but also the realization that those moments have led him to this point, as Mark stands there. The camera shows a close-up of a small personal memento on his desk, perhaps a framed photo, an item from his past at the hospital. Mark looks at it for a moment, but rather than bitterness, there's a sense of understanding. The camera shifts between shots of his past struggles, his firing, the frustration, the late nights spent trying to rebuild, and his present success. There's a clear visual contrast. Mark, once uncertain and shaken, now stands strong, fully in control of his career and future. The camera cuts to a flashback of Mark walking through the hospital's halls, looking over the systems he once maintained, but now, instead of feeling tied to that place, he has a sense of liberation.
Wow.
Scene transitions back to Mark, now fully confident, his expression one of quiet pride. The camera focuses on his face, showing a subtle smile of realization. He understands that his worth was never about the hospital or the position he held. His value lies in his skills, his resilience, and his ability to adapt and grow. Mark's hand rests on the window frame as he reflects on how far he's come. The journey has been challenging, but it has shaped him into someone stronger, more self-assured, and fully capable of navigating the world on his own terms. The camera zooms out to show him in the center of his new office, surrounded by new opportunities and the freedom to choose his path. He stands taller now, no longer defined by a company but by his own determination. The scene opens with Mark standing in his new office, facing a large window that offers a stunning view of the city skyline. The camera captures him from behind, looking out over the horizon. The sun is setting, casting a warm glow across the buildings below. Mark stands tall, his posture proud and confident. The camera slowly pans around to capture his face, which reflects a deep sense of fulfillment and pride. His eyes gleam with satisfaction as he takes in the vast opportunities before him as the camera focuses on Mark's face. There's a subtle smile that forms a quiet acknowledgement of how far he's come. He's rebuilt his career on his own terms, free from the constraints of a company that failed to recognize his value. The horizon before him is filled with potential, a symbol of the future he has created through his hard work, resilience, and determination. The camera shows a few flashbacks of Mark's journey, his years of dedication at the hospital, the painful firing, his moments of frustration and growth, and ultimately his new success. Each step has led him here, and now, standing in his new office, Mark knows that this is just the beginning. The best is yet to come. Mark takes a deep breath, looking out at the horizon once more. The camera cuts to a close-up of his face, his expression resolute and unshaken. He's ready for whatever comes next. His confidence is unwavering, and he now understands that his success isn't defined by any one job or company. It's defined by his ability to rise above challenges and create a future on his own terms. The scene ends with Mark turning away from the window, walking confidently to his desk, where he sits down to begin planning the next steps of his journey. The camera pulls back, showing him in his new space, fully in control of his future.